Welcome to Future Watch, presented by Dine Sports. On today's episode, Derek will be analyzing the game of Austrian forward Marco Kasper.
What is up? Welcome to another episode of Future Watch presented by Dine Sports. Of course, I'm Derek Lee, and that is Bobby Ross right up there. And on today's episode, I actually wanted to quickly dive into a player that I might have been sleeping on before. And that's the fun part about doing this stuff. This is a player that I previously would have looked at and definitely spent some time on. But there was little details within his game that I think I was missing. And for those reasons, I didn't have him as highly on my list. But this is a player that recently I've been able to look at in more detail. And a player that's quickly becoming one of my favorites in the draft. So let's take a look at Marco Kasper. All right, Marco Kasper, born April 8th, 2004, is 18 years old. He's 6'1", 185 pounds, pretty good size. And this year he played for Rogel BK Angel Home. I'll put the words up on the screen because I know I butchered that name, where he put up 7 goals, 4 apples, 11 points in 46 games played. Pretty impressive stuff considering it is the Swedish Elite League, one of the top leagues outside the NHL. And if you're into the draft combine testing, Kasper excelled among his draft-eligible peers, scoring first among his group in the Wingate test, which is like a fatigue index score. And on the VO2 max, he tied for second, so you could expect some really long shifts out of Marco Kasper in the future. There are a couple of things I wanted to point out on his InStat page that I think are kind of jumping off the page. For one, 2.6 shot attempts per game is a really, really low number. So that's a number that you don't like to see. But then under it, 65% of those shots are hitting the net. So Kasper just needs to shoot a whole lot more. But when we're breaking down the shot map, we could see how accurate his shot is. 64.7% from the high slot area is a huge number. He's over 60s in the entire high slot on the wings as well. So really, really accurate shot. Probably tells me that his shot is not that hard.
By Kasper, and that's off a stick over top the net. Burned Wolf tied up there with Seppel up. Kasper on the puck. Kasper brings it to the net. It's in the paint. Where is it? Old Kanora's got the legs.
Хаге. Вот нет решения бросать. Добивание.
Kliver ut mot Everberg. Kamperna mellan de där två är intensiva och hårda och dit på Marco Kasper. Vilken aktion.
Kolla här då. Marco Kasper. Edström kommer. Marco Kasper med en hand. Och där... Bengtsson som snabbt är hem och tar det ansvaret. Han tar ju ansvar överallt i alla zoner. Och helt ensam Kasper och Larmi och pucken är under Larmi som har följt upp.
All right, so the thing I love most about Marco Kasper's game, if you haven't already figured it out by the video clips, is his ability to drive the net and just create a whole bunch of havoc in the paint. It doesn't seem to matter what the scenario is. He's taking the puck hard to the net every single time and creating a scrum and getting a really, really good look out of it. It kind of speaks to why his shooting percentage is so high. It's because he's really shooting from in and around that home plate area pretty much every single time he's shooting the puck. It reminds me of Brady Tkachuk of the Ottawa Senators, and I absolutely love it. The other component to Marco Kasper's shot that I like is just his ability to get it through no matter where he is on the ice. He does have a distinctive ability to get the shot at least.
Kasper jumps on the loose puck. Kasper circles up high, forced to the backhand. Puck stays with him. Gets it to the forehand, floats it in. Seelovs will make the save.
Analyzing his wrist shot, a few key things that I can point out here. He's great at shooting in motion. There's no problem with that. And he does get it off quite quickly. There's pretty good snap on the shot. But he needs a lot more strength behind the shot if he wants to beat goalies cleanly from the outside. And currently that's just not one of his skills. The other thing that I noticed with Kasper's shot is that he does resort to the slap shot a little too often for my liking. I think he does this because he's not quite confident in beating goaltenders with his wrist shot in motion. So anytime he has time and space, he'll pretty much wind up and take a slap shot from the outside as opposed to a quick wrist shot. Kasper's spatial recognition is another area to his game that I'm super impressed with. Every inch of ice that he's being given, he's taking to his advantage, and he's always changing his angles up on his shots to get the highest percentage shooting location on the ice pretty much every single time. It's really impressive. And getting into some of his goals, we're going to look at a bit of a Lone Ranger first in the clap bomb along the ice, feeding the goalie clean to the 5-hole. But here is primarily what you're going to get with regard to Kasper's goal scoring ability. It's his hands and compete in and around that home plate area. A thing of beauty. Let's have one more look and slow this one down a little bit. Kasper hides so well in coverage, this time behind the net. He creeps his way to the front of the net. Note the body positioning the moment he receives the pass. He's got his rear end protecting the puck and his stick corralling the puck in tight to his body to prevent the poke check. He then makes 2 quick handles before roofing it.
Marco Kasper först ner på den pucken. Tvärställer mot Jesper Pettersson. Kasper! I mål! Marco Kasper kvitterar för Rögle med 3-3.
Okay, this one made me laugh, but it perfectly exemplifies Kasper's game. Here he is battling it out. He's going to take some punishment in front of the net like he does, and then somehow gets a stick on it through a maze of players. Don't even know how he's seen it. Deflecting it past the goalie, and then watch the swan dive into the net just to double make sure that that thing went in. Hilarious stuff. When scouts bring up translatable skill, Marco Kasper has more of that than anyone else in this class, hands down. And here we're going to freeze frame. We see Kasper has his head up to see the release while taking punishment in front, and it's still a beautiful deflection resulting in a goal. We're going to see another example of Marco Kasper using all the ice he's given, steps into yet another clap bomb. But the best part of this goal is right there. That smile at the end says it all. Kasper is a fantastic skater overall. We're going to get a look here, calling for the puck. He's going to head up the ice, full head of steam, and stops on a dime. He's able to put it through the D's legs. Really good play there. And then look at this play against top competition. Watch the edge work. Watch the hands as well at work. Kasper deking himself to a high percentage shot. And then we're going to look at that top speed as well. Great crossovers, generates a ton of power. Head of steam up the ice against the Americans. Really, really good
USA
stuff.
And Schneider is off now, so they'll have to find another trigger man.
And across the line for Kasper. Sends it back at the line.
And here's a great little dash from Kasper at full speed. You're going to see everything you want to see. Head up, hands in motion. He's able to beat defenders and fetch the puck.
Kosmar. Kasper. Möter ett samlat försvar. Tar sig förbi Gino Andersson.
The other element I want to touch on when it comes to Kasper's skating ability is his overall balance. He's able to roll off checks every time he's hit. He's hit against much larger competition, keeping in mind he's playing in the SHL, he's playing in the World Championships in some of these clips, and he's just able to roll off checks and keep his footing. It's really impressive.
Начинают австрийцы активно, там прессингуют у бортов.
Ну и, видимо,
вот пытаются шайбу перехватить.
Да, тут прессинг приносит свои плоды. Австрийцы в итоге овладели шайбой в зоне соперника. который пока вот со старта второго периода, если чем рискует, так это нас.
Ну, я думаю, он профессионал, держит себя в игре.
Разминается?
Разминается, конечно.
Kasper demonstrates compete all over the ice. Here we're going to see him throw a hit behind the net. And where's he going to go? Right to the front of the net. Looking for a rebound, looking for a deflection. And on this next play, right off the face-off, sweeps a shot on net. Puck pursuit, he's after it, sandwiches the guy with his teammate, and heads toward the front of the net. Kasper does have sort of an old-school brand of hockey in him. He's always finishing checks. Here's a nice shot, gives him an extra shot for good measure. And here in the corner, he's going to absolutely spill his guy.
Атаковать, позиционные атаки.
Еще успели смениться, освежили свою линию нападения частично шведы в этой атаке. Австрийцы так...
Kasper vinner puck.
Kasper's playmaking abilities can be seen in a variety of different ways. Here, through the breakout, nice little bank pass through the triangle. And on this next play, a little stop play, just moving it along the boards. And on this next play, we'll see him receive the pass, which is another skill he has. A nice little backhand dish to the high slot. On this next play, we're going to see him dance his way into the zone, scan the ice really well, and find his teammate open in the high slot. I would say that overall, playmaking is not necessarily Kasper's biggest strength, but it's not a weakness either. It's just good.
Going to get hit, and here he goes again.
Kasper to the outside. Kasper center scores! Well, Marco Kasper doesn't get...
Is he the most flashy, eye-catching player in the draft? No. But what Marco Kasper lacks in flash, he more than makes up for in determination and compete. Kasper's old-school vibe with modern-day skating and skill make for a rare commodity with almost untouchable projectability. Although the safest pick isn't always my top choice, as I tend to lean towards high-ceiling players, Kasper might actually have both. If he can work on his shot mechanics and add some power, which will come in time, I see no reason why he can't become a top 6 forward at the NHL level. And if for whatever reason development doesn't go according to plan, or he hits his plateau early, Kasper is at the very least a quality third-line guy. He's the most mature player with a skill set that easily translates to the NHL level. I do think a couple more years of development would be in his best interest. Maybe a year in the SHL and then a year at the AHL level to get acclimated to the North American style and ice would be ideal. He's a player that most have, I think, currently in the middle of their first round, but he's a power forward with projectability, with upside. I'd be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked if NHL scouts don't have him much higher up. I know I do now. For Future Watch, presented by Dine Sports, powered by InStat Hockey, I'm Derek Lee, and we'll see you next time.